if I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home, when I'm home.
AEW Dynamite for the 23rd of September 2020. Let's just get into it. There are two titles on the line tonight. And does that even make this show any better? Well, we'll see. Let's start off with some tag team action with Kip Sabian. And he will team with Miro in his debut match versus Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. And JR, you really need to stop saying she when you refer to Sonny Kiss. Sonny Kiss is a man. He's a transgender. But he is referenced as a man. He's not like Nyla Rose, who identifies as a woman, and that's perfectly fine. And the thing about it is the commentators don't even call him on it. And Excalibur still says he. And then, as the match goes on, finally JR refers to Sonny as man. He. And in the end, Miro locks in the accolade on Sonny Kiss, if that's the name that the move goes by in AEW. And he's the one that gets the pin, so he is the one that gets the win for his team with Kip Sabian in his debut match. Why was it a tag team match? You know, is that a sign of things to come for him? Are they going to do to him what WWE did to him? You know, why did they saddle him with Kip Sabian? I got nothing against Kip Sabian, but it's weird. It's like, is this their version of Aiden English from WWE, where they're going to tag him with somebody, and then they're going to try to build him up to be a single star? He's going to turn on Kip Sabian later on or something. But we'll see. Now, the guy who's my favorite, Eddie Kingston, is in the ring, and he's getting the world title shot. Why? Well, Archer came into contact with someone who had COVID-19, had the coronavirus. So I guess that warrants Kingston getting a title shot. Now he's in the ring and he calls out Mox, the AEW World Champion, who says he was cut from the same cloth as he was. Apparently they had some run-ins in the Indies and they know each other very well. Then he goes on and says that he sold out and went to the land of sports entertainers. Of course, that's a shot at WWE. And Mox does come out and both stand face to face. Nothing really comes of that confrontation as the referees and everybody and their grandma comes out and breaks it up. Now, Hangman versus Evil Uno. One-on-one action, and Omega is looking to bore me on commentary. With the gosh golly darn sounding commentary, it's like he's trying too hard to come up as a good guy. But deep inside, he's a heel waiting to come out. I mean, you see this coming from a mile away, AEW. What do you think you're doing? We're not stupid. It's like babyface to heel turn 101. You see it coming from a mile away. Now in the end, Hangman hits the buckshot lariat on Evil Uno and gets the win. Now the Young Bucks talk to Tony Schiavone. He's outside the dressing room, and Matt comes out and Tony Schiavone jumps back because he probably thinks that he's going to get super kicked. Now Matt talks to him and he still comes off as a pretentious and annoying fuck. It doesn't work, guys, but keep trying to push him as a heel, him and his brother. Oh, and that little thing Matt did to Tony's phone, smashing it against the wall, like it reeks of desperation. It's like when he did it, again, it's just like it's not natural for them to be heels. I don't know if they were ever heels in Japan because I never followed them there, but I've always heard of their name. And he does it, and it's just like, really? Like, you know, they got these guys, you know, the best friends fighting against Ortiz and Santana because of that they destroyed the minivan, and then he's gonna try to be a heel or cement his heel. Matt is by smashing Tony's phone, and then he throws money at him, like it's a couple $100. Uh, let's keep trying AEW. It's not gonna work. You might as well throw that out and let them be the super kick party. Throw in 30, 40, 50 kicks, super kicks a match, because they are super kicks. That's all they are. Now, TNT title match. Champ Mr. Brody Lee versus Orange Cassidy and Justin Roberts. Lee, shut the fuck up. I hate the sound of his annoying voice, his annoying announcing voice. I really do. It's like, it's a pleasant surprise when I found out that he was signed with AEW. I could take his his announcing, and then when he starts doing it week after week, and you hear his voice, you forget. Oh yeah, his voice is annoying. Now, Mr. Brody Lee. In the end, it's just too much for Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy was game, but Orange Cassidy, well, he got crushed with a discus lariat, and Mr. Brody Lee is still your TNT champ. Then the lights go out, and the choir is heard. You hear the music, and lots of smoke. A fiery background, And it's Cody, dark-haired Cody. And he takes it to the Dark Order, and number 5 gets put in a figure 4 by Cody. And Cody gets his point across, especially to Mr. Brody Lee. But Lee snaps back in the backstage area and vows to cut him down and slap a dog collar on him. 1 week to answer him. Are you a man or a coward? And is this alluding to a dog collar match, possibly? I don't know what the dog collar would be other than that, right? So I guess that's his challenge is, and that'd be interesting. Very brutal match. It could be very brutal when you have those type of matches. So we'll see. Now, Matt Hardy and the Private Party dopes come to the ring, and Matt calls out the Demo God, who he refers to as an asshole. Jericho's music plays, and this is where I fast forward because I hate when these dope fans sing along with the song. That last part where they always sing, and Jericho genuinely digs it. He's smiling and everything, but don't get me. Don't try to convince me or get me to like it, because I don't. And the entire inner circle hit the stage along with Jericho, and they even have Sammy G in tow. And he claims, Jericho does, to not have hit him last week. That was an accusation. But he wants to hit him now. Matt gets heated, but Mark Quinn steps in, and his partner, Isaiah Cassidy, cuts him off because apparently Mark Quinn wanted to challenge him. He's got a few victories over him. But Isaiah Cassidy claims to have this. Claims to have it. He has this. He says, hey, I got this. And challenges Jericho next week. And he vows to make Jericho his bitch. Really? Tough guy. Tough for a guy who really botches a lot, along with his partner. Now, FTR and Tully stand in the ring and announce a 20 minute like Brush with Greatness type of a match. And they pick the opponents, and next week SCU will get their Brush with Greatness. 20 minutes, and if they don't win in the 20-minute time limit, according to Tully Blanchard, FTR will get a check in the winner's column, so they have to get that victory within 20 minutes. Now, they call FTR calls the Best Friends backyard comedic wrestlers, and I agree. Best Friends come out and proclaim their parking lot brawl last week was a war. Or overrated. I've seen that before match. Nothing different about it. Really nothing different about it. Eddie Guerrero and John Cena, great. Seen that. I've seen a type of match like that with Roddy Piper and Goldust. They just try too hard. They're just trying too hard to make something out of that. It's great when this just comes. It's like a natural and it's a thing, but when you're basing a match, a culmination of a rivalry over a mom's what do you call it? Minivan being destroyed and their clothes being bleached and shower water poured on it. I mean, really? It's like that's where it takes me out because it's like I'm not interested in it. You're gonna brawl and practically kill each other almost over that. Great writing, AEW. People talk about WWE having bad writing. Now, best friends do come out. Okay, well they did do that, and they challenged FTR to a Brush with Greatness match. Now, they agree. FTR does, and then they disagree because they are not fighting champ. But they are fighting champs, although they are fighting champs. The best friends are not at 100%, and that's not fair to them. So heal up, call Tully, and maybe the top team, will give them a title shot or that 20-minute Rush of Greatness match. And the best friends hug it out because they got to give the fans what they want. I didn't want that. But what I liked was when FTR said that one of them did that. So what's wrong? You don't have your mommy here to fight your battles? Yeah, or your mommy to give you guys a reason to have a rivalry or a feud with Santana and Ortiz. Now, this is a match. It's the only thing that got my interest and made me keep my eye on the screen, and that was Diamante and Ivelisse versus Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida. And the Tag Team Cup winners attack early and look to get an early advantage. The NWA and AEW Women Champs get it back in their favor and show us why they are the champions. Code Red is on the mind of Diamante on Shida, but Thunder Rosa stops that and hits the Death Valley driver on Diamante, followed up by a Falcon Arrow, but the pin is broken up by Thunder Rosa. I thought she was going to grab Ivelisse's feet, but she wasn't able to in time. But in the end, a Tamahashi knee strike, or Tamashi, on by Shida, on Diamante, and she gets her team the pinfall victory, and they are a great team. Ivelisse and Diamante are already, they're established. I think they're a team even outside of AEW, but here you're looking at both champs, and they had a very, very physical, very hard-hitting match for the AEW Championship. And here they are teaming up and looking like they've been teaming for years. Now, let's go on. Jericho agrees to the challenge of Isaiah Cassidy, and the Demo God is looking forward to it. He even gave him a compliment, said, hey, you're one of the bright rising stars, you're going to be a great one day, and all that. So the match is on. Then MJF and the Demo God trade pleasantries. Then they both ask each other, why you called me a loser? Because remember on that one interview, complimenting each other, and then when they walk off, you see separate camera angles, and they're saying, what a loser, But then they make up more excuses, They're like, well, I didn't call you a loser. I called Tony Schiavone a loser. I didn't call you a loser. I called this person a loser. So it's like, are they building up to a possible match in the future? Do I care? I mean, I do if they do pull it off, but they're both heels. But I think Jericho would be more of a fan favorite in the sense that everybody loves him more. I mean, they prove it by singing a song, even though he annoys the fuck out of me, but they show that that Jericho has their support by them singing his song, even though he's a hated heel sometimes. They still sing his song. But now let's go to the main event. Eddie Kingston challenges for the world title, and why? I touched on it a little bit earlier, and I'm like, okay, Archer came in contact with someone who has COVID-19, coronavirus, but why does Kingston get a shot when Archer will be cleared and is wrestling on the anniversary show, the October 14th, 1-year anniversary of Dynamite or of AEW in general, but I believe it's because of Dynamite. Now, so there is no reason to give Kingston a shot. The world title is on the line on the 14th, like I said, of October, and that is a marquee match and a match that will get people to tune in, and it just bugs me and confuses me to book this. Eddie Kingston's not going to win, of course, but it's like, they at times they're really putting the world title on a lot. I don't know what they're doing. I think is that the only way that they can get people to tune in? Because they haven't established a lot of people on there on here on AEW. You gotta save the world title match maybe once a month, not like the match here and the match here. Oh, there's a title match coming up, but let's have another title match. They did that with the women's title too. Hikaru Shida was like what 11 weeks or something like that, number one contender, and they kept giving the title shot to Penelope Miller. Penelope Miller, that's the actress. To Penelope Ford, to who else? Nyla Rose, to who else? All these other people before he went to her. And I believe when she was number one contender, Nyla Rose beat what's her name? Beat what's her name? Riho. Yeah. But now before I continue with this, a side note, on October 7th, AEW will hold a special episode of Dynamite. And that is the 30th anniversary celebration of Jericho's career in the ring. 30 years, that's amazing. So, God, how many years was he in there? That means that he would have been 2000? No way. 2001, 2010, 2020. 2000. So they're saying 2000? Like 2010, 2020, 2030. I mean, 2001, 2010, 2020. 2002. Okay, so 1990, right? 1990. So that would be 1990. That would be 2000, 2010, 2020. Okay, 1990. Because I know he was wrestling in the early 90s. I'm thinking 2000. Wait a minute. He was wrestling in the early 90s. So now it makes sense. I don't know why I was thinking 2000, 2020 was 30 years, but yeah. And I've watched him almost from day one. Maybe he was into the wrestling about maybe a few years, and then I started noticing him and watching him. Maybe about 5 years into his career. Started with WCW, so Now, back to the match, and yeah, it's physical. Yeah, these two know each other and nearly chopped the living hell out of each other. Pretty sure. I'm surprised that pieces of their damn pecs and their chests were on the floor. That was pretty good. But am I interested, entertained, or even care? Not really. Especially as I know this is a match with a foregone conclusion. Eddie Kingston isn't winning the title, so why should I care? And as I am done writing in this in my notes, Mox puts Kingston in the sleeper, then transitions into a bulldog choke. And Eddie Kingston is choked out, and Mox retains his title. Then Eddie Kingston's girlfriends, the Lucha Bros, because remember they were hugging it out like girlfriends, because one of the girls was used, because like when a girl's friend uses her makeup without telling her, and they gotta hug it out. Hey, it's okay, let's hug it, like they were doing, like a couple of girls, like a bunch of girls when they were doing that segment. Hey, hug your brother. Hey, hug your brother. Why don't you tell them to kiss each other too while you're at it? And then they come down and they beat down the champ. But Will Hobbs, his partner, they were supposed to have that 6-man tag, but then what happened with Archer? He came down with I got in contact with the coronavirus deal, so he couldn't come down. But he comes down and helps out Moxley, and then Will Hobbs gets a double team, triple team, whatever we call it, and down comes Darby Allin. And after Darby Allin comes down with a couple of skateboard shots on the guys, down comes what's his name? Starks, Ricky Starks. He comes down, and how about the whole roster just come down? Like someone will come down that doesn't like Ricky Starks, and whoever doesn't like that guy will come down, and then so on and so forth. It's always great when you have a melee, type of a situation at the end. I mean, it's like, what a mess, And I gotta say, AEW, aside from the women's tag team match, the only match that kept my attention, AEW continues to suck. But don't get twisted, I want to like AEW. And I used to in the first 6 to 8 months. But it has morphed into complete awfulness. Do something, AEW. make some changes, something. I am on the fence now, and I may stop watching soon. Or I may watch it and not do a video, and then maybe just phase it out. I liked TNA for a while, or maybe about 5 years, and then I phased it out. I tried watching it again. It's a little bit of it, even just a little bit of a couple of clips, and it's off. So I'm not gonna watch that as an alternate. I won't watch New Japan, even though I'm sure they put out great matches, but I'm not interested in really in watching any other wrestling. Seriously, it took a lot to watch AEW. It really took a lot to watch it, and then I liked it. And now I don't know. Like I said, I'm on the fence. But that's my rundown and thoughts on AEW Dynamite for the 24th or 23rd, I should say, of September 2020. Like I said again, AEW should just have a women's program. All the women in the AEW, I'll probably like that every time. I don't know what it is, but I've been liking the women's matches more over the past number of weeks, maybe a few months. So they're doing something right with the women's matches. But it's just a lot of silliness with all the other tag team matches, or multi-man matches, and one-on-one matches, championship matches. I don't mind Mox as champion. I don't mind Mr. Brody Lee as the TNT champion. But who are they putting their titles on the line against? I mean, Brody Lee, he had a great match, and I like, what's his name? Orange Cassidy. He put on a great match. But where are they going to go from there with those guys? With Moxley? Is he going to drop the title to Archer? We'll see. But like I said in the past, if they don't do that with Archer, his career is done. He needs to get that momentum back. Because he came with a lot of momentum, a lot of interest. A lot of people were like, oh shit, here comes Lance Archer. I remember him. A lot of people know him from Japan. A lot of people know him from other promotions. He was Vance Archer in WWE, and he had a real good look. Known as Vance Archer, like I said, on the ECW brand. That's probably what kind of killed his career, because he was on the rebranded ECW brand, and that didn't work. Looked interesting in the beginning, but then it kind of went away from the extreme part of it. It was just another program. But anyway, let's get away from that. That's WWE. This is AEW Dynamite, and I said what I said. So for those of you who stopped by and checked out my video, I appreciate it. And in closing, as always, take care.